For today's video, we're looking at Star Wars The Mandalorian Boba Fett Morak on Way I Got It Figured.
The way I got it figured.
Welcome back, figure fans, for another Star Wars The Vintage Collection review. This is review number 7 in the 8-week series that I'm doing for figures surrounding the Mandalorian season 3 series. So I'm doing a figure every week related directly to the show. So I was hoping that Boba Fett was going to show up. He may show up in episode 8. I'm not sure yet, but I'm going to go ahead and do him this week because I think the video I have for next week probably be better for next week. So it was a long road to get to this particular review, considering the choice that I had to make about the whichever video was going to be last. So here is Boba Fett Morak. Boba Fett Morak was in the same episode as Miggs Mayfeld, which was the Believer, when they both went to Morak to get information on where Moff Gideon's Imperial Light Cruiser was to rescue Grogu. So this was after the tragedy. He got his armor back and it was still all messed up, but he, in between then and this episode, had painted it to look kind of like we expected it to look. And it's almost a transitional version between his Sand Person look and the Book of Boba Fett look. And I do have the deluxe Book of Boba Fett figure on hand, so we'll do some comparisons later in the video. But for now, we're going to start with Boba Fett Morak. And here he is. He comes with a helmet, a pistol, his signature blaster, and of course he has a jetpack on. You can kind of see back there. And he's looking pretty cool. You do have the cross cell here. I should point out that this figure was a Target exclusive, and I should also point out that they charged $20 for this figure. So they made him specially for Target, and then Target made us pay $19.99 for it because, you know, it's Boba Fett and we're all suckers apparently. I paid for it twice because I have this one and I have another one that I left on the card. So maybe they're right. I don't know. But yeah, the card back is nice. Nice picture of Boba Fett. And he is VC252, as you can see there. If you're, like to collect numbers. So we're going to get Boba Fett out and take a look at the figure in greater detail. Alright, so we've got Boba out and on the turntable with his accessories on the turntable with him. And here he is, looking pretty cool. This figure seems to have a lot of shared parts. I really think he's mostly the deluxe Boba. Like, there's not a lot of difference. The paint apps are different, but there's like no need to make a new chest, a new back, a new head. There's really, all that stuff is kind of the same. The paint apps are definitely different, and of course he's not wearing the same pants You know, what I actually find the most curious is because he is wearing sort of the Tusken Raider pants. They look very similar to the Ahsoka figure, and obviously the legs work the same way. And I don't want to go ahead and say that these are the same pants with a different boot on it, because he does have the holster here, and that would obviously necessitate a different mold for the pants. But this holster, I can't tell if this is painted on or if there's an actual, like, almost rubber. I'm gonna say that's painted on. So it's not the same legs as Ahsoka, but the rest of it is extremely similar, and the legs definitely work the same as Ahsoka. The boots are different than the deluxe figure's boots, or at least they're a different color. But it is, you know, it's mostly the same figure, same belt. And he's got a different kind of, you know, because he's still really wearing the Tusken clothes underneath here, so he's got a different kind of waist coat kind of deal going on there. He's got the sort of turtleneck, and that's a little bit different, and it's a cool figure. You know, I'm very happy with it. I'm glad that they both got made to show the difference. Of course, you got the signature helmet with the paint fixed in the dent. You have the jetpack, and this jetpack, of course, is just one piece. The missile launcher is not. It's a static missile launcher. Doesn't come off. And of course, you got his blaster, which looks pretty much the same as the one that comes with the deluxe figure. I don't know. I may like the paint job on this one better than that one, but we'll look at them up close here in a bit. Bring the Boba back in. You do have the usual articulation. He does have a thigh swivel. He does have a boot cut, so to speak. And he is working with the ankle rockers that the modern vintage collection figures are all working with. The holster will, oh, you know what? I'm sorry, I left out the fourth accessory. His pistol, which unfortunately I dropped on the table, and it sort of blended in. So it's the same pistol as what he had in the show, and obviously what he has in the Book of Boba Fett, and what he has in the Book of Boba Fett figure, the Boba Fett Tatooine. It's the same gun, but I think it is a little bit differently painted. This one I think is darker than the other one, and again, we'll get a better look at that when I have both of them in the view of the camera. So there you go. You do have head and neck, side to side. So there you go. Pistol goes in the holster. Pretty good. About the same as the other one, from what I recall. You know, it's a good figure. All right, so I'm gonna get him dressed up, so to speak, and then we will compare him to the later version of Boba. Alright, so joining Boba Fett Morak on the turntable is Boba Fett Tatooine, the so-called deluxe figure. It's not necessarily the figure that makes it deluxe, it's that he came with more accessories perhaps than what a normal figure is allotted, which increased his price by like, I don't know, $6, which is probably not really fair. But considering that this is mostly the same figure with less accessories, and they wanted $20 for him at Target, well, it kind of makes a little bit of sense, even if I don't necessarily agree with it. So, so there are some differences in paint applications. There's some weathering that the Book of Boba Fett version has that the other one doesn't, because he had just freshly painted the armor, and then he had had some more adventures after that. But you can see obviously the pants difference. The boots are basically the same, just different colors. The holsters with the pistol, the pistol's the exact same color. And it's the same head and the same helmet. So, just taking them off the turntable and looking at them close up. So, this is Morak, and this is Deluxe Boba, right? And so this one only has one mythosaur pauldron on his arm, and the other one is just blank. And same with this one, he just has one mythosaur pauldron. It is the same, but the deco differences in the arm gauntlets, they're different. And while this isn't bad, I would say that the deluxe one has kind of a better paint application there. Even though these belts look the same, they're actually not. The buckles are not the same size. The Morak version has a bigger buckle. The Book of Boba Fett version has a smaller buckle. This helmet is straight painted, repainted from the old version. This helmet has weathering on it again, as if he's seen a few things since he repainted the armor. That's appropriate. And you have their guns, same sculpt. And initially I said maybe I thought this one was going to be better, but looking at them both, the Book of Boba Fett one does have kind of a more premium paint job. Now, aesthetically, how you feel about it could be different, but I actually think this one has a better aesthetic to the gun. So there you have it. So helmet's off. They're dealing with the same general mold. Somehow, I feel like this one is better. Seems more correct to me. But then again, 2 years had gone by between Morak and the Book of Boba Fett. And maybe he regrew his eyebrows. I don't know. Thought he didn't have eyebrows. Very, very, very light eyebrows. But they both look good. I just, you know, again, aesthetically kind of like this one a little bit better. But I would say that this has a more premium paint job. You know, lips are painted and things like that. But in some cases, less is more. And I think this is a little bit better. So there's that. All right, so there's your comparisons. Book of Boba Fett, Tatooine versus the Mandalorian Morak. And I don't know. I mean, the Book of Boba Fett version wins on a couple of things, and the Tatooine version wins on a couple of things. So I'm going to call it a draw. Maybe the Book of Boba Fett loses because it costs more, because the accessories are just, you know, extra accessories. And maybe the Morak version loses because he doesn't have the accessories that this one has. I don't know. I like them both. It's Boba Fett. They can always seem to get my money anyway, so who cares, right? They're both winners. If you have one and don't want to get the other one, you're not really missing a whole lot other than scene-specific outfits, which is kind of what I like to do. So there you go. So I'm going to move on to final thoughts of the Book of Boba Fett Morak. The Mandalorian Morak. So final thoughts on VC252 Star Wars The Mandalorian Boba Fett Morak. I'm going to give this figure, I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10. It's a great figure. It has differences from the other version that's in a similar timeline, and he looks good. He looks good. I'm very happy to have him. I'm very happy to have the other one. I'm sort of uncharacteristically showing him without his helmet on, which in the episode he never took it off. Once he got the armor back from Din Djarin, he only took the helmet off on the part where he showed him the chain code with Jaster Murillo, showing that Jango was a foundling of the Mandalorians. After that, he had the helmet on basically every time you saw him until the Book of Boba Fett. So it's a little bit uncharacteristic, but I don't care. I need my thumbnail to be different for this Boba Fett than the other one, so basically that's what we're doing. So yeah, 10 out of 10, Book of Boba Fett, Morak. 10 out of 10, The Mandalorian Boba Fett, Morak. Okay guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I've got one more video to do for the Mandalorian series, season 2. There may be an additional bonus video. I'm not 100% sure yet if I want to do it that way, if I want to just do it later or something like that. But there was only 8 weeks, and there was 9 weeks worth of stuff for me to kind of do. So we'll see. But there is at least one more Mandalorian video to go in sequence with the release of an episode, because next week is episode 8. Okay, if you've been enjoying these videos, please give me a comment, like, and subscribe to the video. And you know, I like to tie certain things into certain things. Like I can tell you for sure, in May, for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, there'll be a whole series of Return of the Jedi-esque videos, whether it be Star Wars, the Vintage Collection, or Black Series. It'll be kind of both. And this was all the Vintage Collection, but there's no hard and fast rules, just, you know, whatever I got to show you. So yeah, I like doing these sorts of things that tie into events, and it's been kind of fun for me, so I've been enjoying it. Boba Fett, I have a lot of Boba Fett figures. Not as many as Darth Vader, certainly not as many as Luke Skywalker, but he has a number of figures in my collection. And it's always a good time when there's a new Boba Fett. So look forward to perhaps seeing him or someone like him again. For now, I'm gonna sign off on this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. If you're new, please subscribe. And I intend to have much more content like this, and I'm always looking to improve. So hopefully I'll have something to get everybody back. All right, till the next time, see you guys, and peace.
The way I got it figured.